Shut up, Talon.
Makeshift. I forgot the referee shirt, but I did remember the tribal urn. So, priorities.
I'd rather have the shirt.
Not much happening.
All right. Are we going? Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, welcome to the judges panel, where a judging panel of your peers is going to determine whether or not you get to stay in the competition or if you will be bested. So, Tyler, let's start with you tonight. For somebody that's not been paying any attention to what's been going on in this game, catch us up. What would you say would be describing this game thus far?
Well, at first I thought you were saying that I haven't been paying attention at all in this game, and I was about to be very offended because
No.
I am playing. So far we have been tested to our Olympic limits. We've had some swaps. We had a one world twist at the beginning with no one-on-ones, and lately we've been going through um, what I would call are the final trials in the game. So now that we're through the merge, I survived a battle back. We are in the last, I would say, like 300 meters of a marathon race. We're getting ready to go around that final curve and make a push for the end. So it's been a lot of communication and navigation with different twists and competitions, and we're almost at the end. Very, very close.
So, one, Tyler mentions being very close, but could it also be perceived as being so far away? I mean, there's 4 more eliminations before we get to that dreaded final 5.
Yeah, okay. I just had to think about how I was going to answer that because I was confused at the question a little bit. No, yeah, I mean it is so close, but it does feel so far away because yeah, we can look at a calendar and see it's this many days away, but calendar days don't equate game days, if that makes sense. Like it can be 2 hours in the game and it feels like eternity. It can be 3 days in the game and it feels like next year. So because a lot goes on between days, not even with other people in yourself, but yourself personally within the game, because you have a lot to think about, a lot has happened, and then also the jury is filling up too. So yeah, it's close, so close, yet so far.
I'm so glad you mentioned the jury because I actually pre-asked Jacob a question, and I asked Jacob, as the jury starts to build, what do you think is the most important for the jury to start to pay attention to when watching the judges panel? And Jacob responded with, well, it depends on what the jury is looking for. Maybe they're impressed by very articulate and carefully worded answers. They may want to vote for someone smart who truly grasps the game and can accurately illustrate the ambiance of the game. If an answer demonstrates game awareness, they may be impressed, but they also may just be looking for an answer that shows a lot of personality, or at least the personality that endears them most to that person. The jury would want to vote for somebody, emphasis on the word for and not against somebody. So if there's someone they connected with on a personal level that shines through during a judges panel, they'll laugh and reminisce about the calls and experiences they had with them. Get back to you, Scott. What do you make of that answer?
That's a Jacob answer.
What does that mean?
I think Jacob has a way of summarizing things in a way that kind of gets to the core. That's sort of a big picture look at things, and I mean I think he's right. At the same time, that is, I don't want to say it's a non-answer because it's not a non-answer, but that's exactly what the jury does. Are they voting for you or against you? Who knows? I think watching this is probably not nearly enough to make an assessment because they're not getting to see the game. They only see what we say here. That's the whole point of Final Tribal. So people might get ideas from watching this, but I don't think it's enough to really make a decision.
Vincent, would you say I mean, now we've seen a handful of winners and runner-ups be eliminated thus far, but would you say that players that have been on the jury before may have a slight advantage to sitting in the finals?
If this was the only org that existed, yeah, maybe. But all of us have either one been runner up or been on a jury before at some point in our org career. So I don't necessarily think that there's any type of advantage to anything like that. I think that because all of us really respect this specific game and the fact that it's never really felt like people are going after placements or anything like that. I don't see why anyone would put any stock into I don't even know if I'm answering your question, but
Doing a pretty good job.
I don't know. I just feel like if there's anyone that's still thinking, oh well, this person's won or this person has done this, so you're looking at the wrong thing because this isn't any of our first rodeos, even inside of Kaleidoscope. Outside of Kaleidoscope, we've all done all types of shit in this community. So I've been saying it since day one. I don't care about people's placements. I don't care about what awards they've gotten, any of that. And if there are jurors that do put stock into it, that's their prerogative. I'll say were to somehow luck my way to the end of the game and I'm sitting next to a former winner and people try to say, oh, well, why would you sit next to a former winner? It's like, because I've also won a game before. Yeah, it wasn't this, but it doesn't matter. And if you're really doing that, um, I don't want to say I lose respect for you, but it'd be a weird mentality to have. I'll say it like that.
Fair enough. Jess, what do you think is the most important element then going into this, end game phase? Like, what are the attributes that you're looking for in people to, align with, or the moves that you think need to be made?
I think the most important thing is like easily finding people that you can trust, because we all start from like different places in this game. We swapped to different places, we got to merge in different ways, and things happen on our seasons that are like different than what even happened here. So I think we all know that trust is a really important thing. And yeah, that's what I think is the most valuable aspect.
Sanam, would you say that it rings true that the people you trust last round may be different than the people you trust this round and may be different than the people you trust next round? Is everything round by round is the question I'm asking.
I think there's a balance between the two because, like, the closer we get to the end, the more people are going to make moves that can help them get there, either with or above you. So, I mean, every round is a chance to reaffirm the trust that you've been building with people. And every round is a trust for people to take advantage of that trust and use it to, like, make sure they know where your vote's going so that they can cast accordingly. So I think, like, there's a balance between, am I continuing to build this trust so that we can make it to the end and each pitch ourselves to the jury? Or am I building enough trust capital so that way when the time comes for me to make a lie, you're going to believe it? And I think it's a scary thing. Like, at the end of the day, you can't play this game alone. You have to build that trust, but you have to do that knowing that, like, at the end of the day, someone's trying to beat you. And that's scary.
All right. So far, there's been a lot of talk tonight about end game, but for somebody, tonight is game's end. So before we go to the vote, though, it's now time for a burning desire. Does anybody have anything that they feel they need to say or call somebody out or get something off their chest, given it could be the last time? No? All right. Well, then let's vote. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to mute myself. While I am away, please do not talk about anything relating to this vote or the game. You can give shout outs.
Shout out to Jackie from Padlock and Montes.
Juan, that's your cue.
All right, I was doing band director shit. Shout out to Chanel, cause she that girl.
Woo!
Yep, and Mucus.
Who's
Shout out
Mucus?
to
He's in my
Caitlin and
prod chat.
That's their name,
Zoe.
Mucus? Love.
The name's it's Marcus, but we call him Muke. We call him
Oh,
Mucus.
Shout out to Caitlin and Zoe and Thomas and Zorp, because if you know, you know.
Zorp? Who?
Zorp.
shout out to Jeff and Kilby, my podcasts. Lovely
Shout out
kids.
to oh my god, shout out to Jeff and Kilby.
Oh gosh.
Shout out to Wet Hot American Summer. If you've never seen it, it's funny. You should watch it. I just watched it.
I've never watched it. Shout out
For
to
the
Wicked.
first
I'm gonna watch
time?
it for the first time after this. I'm so excited.
Shout out to Wicked being available on Peacock for
Yes.
stream.
Shout out
We
to Juan for
love.
telling me.
Not the
Yeah.
free advertising.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Wisconsin women's hockey, who is up 5-2 and about to go to the national championship. And shout out to all my dogs in my crib, aka my prod chat.
Oh, I want to be in that hoi polloi.
I was literally sitting at work and I was taking a bunch of photos of the dogs, and all I could think of is these are Tyler's dogs in the crib. Shout out to this dog Moose, because he was my favorite overnight dog the last 2 nights. He was also the only one I had both nights. So not to express bias. He's my favorite that was there both nights.
There's a dog in this house right now that every time I come over, it barks like it's like he's gonna kill me. And then I sit down in a chair and then he wants to like love on me.
What's his name? Do you have a
His name is
picture?
Dallas. I don't. I'm sure if I open the door, he'd be here. Let's see.
Shout out to Dallas.
Dallas. No, he's not here. I think he's I don't particularly care for dogs because they bark at me.
I'm gonna give the real shout out. Shout out to Scott's barber because he ate that shit.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It looks good.
Thank you. I got a haircut like a week and a half ago, so it's lasting.
Well, I thought it was fresh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fresh.
It's because of the glasses.
Reverse
what it
shout
looks
out
like.
to my hairstylist that effed me up, and I redid it myself, and it looked better.
What's a
That's
reverse shout out? Is that a call out?
Yes.
A whisper in?
Yes. She did a bad job on my hair. I was really upset.
You went.
Also, shout out to Jen's unborn baby that we are celebrating tomorrow.
Aw, shout out to whoever got her that really cute onesie.
When my sister had her first baby shower, she's like, "You can come if you want, but you don't have to." So I showed up, and they had these little clothespins, like little teeny golden clothespins, and everybody had two. And the goal was like, if you got somebody to say the word "baby," you would take one of their clothespins. So you best believe, I went in there, and I was getting people to say "baby" until I got all the clothespins, and then I got a bottle of wine.
Nice. Shout out to Scott posting that random ass video a couple days ago, because it led me on a memory lane trip, because it reminded me of the video Shoes. I proceeded to play this for all my friends that were with me, then went down the YouTube rabbit hole, and then ruined my Instagram algorithm. So now I'm getting ads for an Old Greg bar in Austin, Texas.
I mean, if I'm gonna get if I'm gonna get ads for a bar, I hope it's Old Greg.
You know what?
Oh my god,
Because
Shoes is
you
iconic.
ruined all of my nostalgia, and then I started talking about Boys and Girls Club earlier. You've all lost the game.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Guys, I just lost the game. Nobody cared. Oh shit.
All right. Speaking of losing games, I have the votes.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
So, before I read the votes, if anybody has a Hidden Immunity Idol, tarot card, or other relevant advantage that they would like to play, now would be the time to do so. All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The competitor with the most amount of votes will have a moment to speak their piece, and then they must leave the Zoom immediately. I will read the votes. First vote. Ren. 1 vote Ren. Sanam. 1 vote Ren, 1 vote Sanam. Sanam. 1 vote Ren, 2 votes Sanam. Renique. 2 votes Renique, 2 votes Sanam. Ren. That's 3 votes Ren, 2 votes Sanam. Sanam. 3 votes Ren, 4 votes Sanam. Sorry, 3 votes Ren, 3 votes Sanam. Sanam, 4 votes Sanam. The next competitor to be bested by the competition and to have been defeated in the Olympic Games and the 5th member of our jury is Sanam. Sanam, that is 5 votes. That is enough. You may now speak your piece.
I love you guys. Great game. I'm not gonna lie, if you saw my peace sign, I saw it coming. Well played. I'm not gonna sit here and rat out who I know Fliptoon voted where. I'm not gonna be that type of person, and I wish you all the best of luck. Have a good game. I'll see y'all at the jury panel. Take care.
Night, Sanam. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Well, like I said before, you can think about endgame all you want, but you've got to make it to endgame. And we have several more ejections to go before we are there. And now on to something fun. Our favorite Kaleidoscope pastime. It is our Kaleidoscope white elephant. So if you will please send your, not necessarily trust rankings, but you want to send your ranking of the order in which you would like people to open gifts, okay? Then the player that averages the highest in that will then get to open the first gift. They will be stuck with that gift. Let's say that gift is a hat. Then the second player will then get to open a gift. Let's say they open the gift and that gift is this water. They then get to choose whether or not they keep this water or they're going to trade it for the hat. Player 3 will then get to open a gift and they will get to choose whether or not they keep that gift and, trade it for one of the other gifts. One of the gifts is going to be the immunity necklace. So that'll be in there. But the rest are just 7 very fun or not so fun gifts. So what we need out of you is to just send us a ranking of who you would like to see open the gift first, which means most likely to open a gift before you, to who you would like to see open a gift last, which means most likely you trust them to open the gift after you and not burn you if they get a not so favorable gift. Does that make sense to everybody?
I think most people here have played this.
Yeah. We'll put it all in writing
we'll
too.
Put the instructions in.
Yep, we'll put the instructions in writing. It's going to make for a nice, relaxed, non-live weekend.
No.
What?
You're false, because this challenge is due tomorrow and we have tribal tomorrow.
Oh, this challenge is due tomorrow. We have tribal tomorrow. Sorry, it's going to be a non-live day throughout the day. But you'll know what the results are as they're happening. So that'll lead to a fun tribal tomorrow night.